What's up, everyone? It's Arthur from Opening Up, and it's episode 10. Can't believe I'm 10 episodes in. Um, Thank you, everyone who subscribe, who watches. I really appreciate it. Like I said, when I started doing this, the goal was just to connect with people, and hopefully, my stories can have an effect on people, connect with them somehow. Or listen, just entertain. Um, Today, I'm going to talk about mental health. And there are a few things that came up, memories as well as recent events that had me thinking about this. I'm also going to be opening up a box of Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition 2024 cards, which guarantees one autograph in there. Hopefully, it's a good one. I've had a few good hits. My second episode and my last episode, two really big hits, man. It's really exciting. Enjoy doing this, and but I enjoy doing this more. So, like I said, mental health. So what brought this up was got a text message from a good friend a few days ago, and he was asking me, "Hey, do you know this guy?" I was like, he looks familiar, but it wasn't ringing a bell to a name. He was like, "Hey, we used to play football together. So when we were kids, we played in a neighborhood league, and he played in that league." And I was like, "Oh, it's probably like I said. I mean, when I grew up in Bushwick in Brooklyn, and if you live out there for a long time, you know people, and then you'll recognize a lot of people because it's just we all stood in our hood, and we all at one time or another may have hung out in that same vicinity, same area." So he was like, "Yeah." So the reason why he was such was like, "Yeah, because he died and they're doing a funeral for him." I was like, "Oh man!" So I was looking at pictures. I was like, "Man, I saw this picture recently," and I noticed that on my Facebook page, I saw an old schoolmate that we was going way back, and she had posted a picture of this person. So then I looked up the name, come to find out he was a detective who committed suicide. And it hits hard because while I don't remember him directly, he's someone that came from where I came from, roughly around the same age. And things like that, for someone to take this action, this drive, this permanent action, it just it makes me reflect. And it also made me reflect on my own experience. So around January, February of last year, I fell into a deep depression. And for the first time in my life, I thought about committing suicide. And it wasn't one of those things, it was a grand thing like, I'm just going to throw myself over a bridge, or I'm just going to take a shotgun and just blow my brains out. But it was more of feeling down. My head was just racing with all these thoughts. And I was feeling depressed. I was feeling low. And it gets to the thought of, if I just ended it, like, would I feel better? Would I just, would it just be an eternal sleep? And then I don't have to stress anymore. I don't have to worry anymore. And I don't have to feel this weight on me, this negative weight. And I had this thought for like a day or two. And I remember going to my next therapy session talking about it. And thank God I had that outlet to do that because luckily I didn't go through with it. And then it was trying to focus on where this was coming from. One possible idea could have been that, you know, living in New York City during January, February, there is, the seasonal disorder where it's just so gloomy and cold. The nights are short. It can have an effect on your psyche. I was also taking a medication, which, crazy enough, I read an article 2 weeks later that talked about that one of the side effects, especially in men, was suicidal thoughts and suicidal tendencies. So it could have been the medication. It could have been family history because my mother dealt with a lot of mental health issues. And I know there was a time in her life where she thought about committing suicide. So all these factors, and it could be any one, it could be all three combined, but it was real. And this is someone for me who I try to stay very positive, who I felt that I have a great relationship, a great marriage, great relationship with my children. I have a great, a great job where, financially, I have all these things. So it's like, there's no reason for me to feel this way, but yet I did. And I can only imagine other people going through the same thing. I think for this officer who I can't even imagine the things that he had to see through his lifetime. Like no human being, the death, the the really ugly side of humanity. And listen, if you know what's going on in New York City, you know there's a shortage of detectives. So how many hours you're probably doing this? You can't just go home and just yeah, I'm just gonna forget about it. It's very hard to do. Or like, are people in the military who go to war or go to these countries and they see all this famine and this destruction and death and inhumanities and they have to live with that in their brain because there's no outlet. Or just going through the struggle. You're young and you went through a horrific ordeal and never, it's funny. When I was texting my friend, we were talking about this, and I told her, like, mental health, man, it's something that we don't talk about enough, but it's so real. You know, a lot of us as kids, especially when you struggle, we went through some trauma, some childhood trauma, and we're not taught to, hey, you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's go get help for it. A lot of it was just like, you just got to keep it in, suck it up, be strong. Yeah, but then it finds a way to manifest itself inside. It comes out somewhere, one way or another. And with my family, I know quite a few people who dealt with mental health issues, and they went to drugs, they went to alcohol to cope with those things. And for me, I just try to take it day by day. I have my own childhood traumas that happened to me. Um, like I said, it's probably in my genes, but I just try to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. And that's why I've been doing Pilates. And Pilates has really helped me learn that breathing is so important to your body when working out. Different ways you breathe and how you breathe helps build your core, helps you get additional power. One of the things I realized I'm a mouth breather. So I was really learning how to change to breathe through my nose and breathe out through my mouth. But one of the things I learned also that it calms me down. It kind of clears my head. So that's why I say, like, when you're feeling a moment where you may be feeling frantic, or maybe feeling angry, maybe feeling like this weight's on you, just stop for a moment, breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, and do that a few times, and then reassess the situation. It may not always work, but I saw that sometimes it does. And most importantly, if you're having suicidal thoughts, call for help. On your phone, you could call or text 988 and you can reach someone. There's a bunch of 800 hotline numbers that you can call. Call your close friend, a close family member. It just needs to vent. You can just tell, listen, I just need to vent. I'm not asking for help. I'm not asking you for, I just want to vent. And just let it out because I also realized that our lives are very precious. It was very lucky for us to even be here. The odds, and I talked about this in a previous episode, the odds of you existing is larger than the lottery, than hitting the lottery. If you're not happy with certain things, figure out a way how you can change it one day at a time. And know that, there are people out there to help. You are not alone. For those who have to deal with jobs that are strenuous, that have to really see that ugly side of humanity, try to get the help that you can so it doesn't scar you. So that's my message for today in this series of mental health, man. It's no joke. And yeah. All right, we're gonna open up this box. It is Topps Chrome 2024 Sapphire Edition. You don't talk about mental health. You look at the football players with the whole CTE thing. I mean, that's for real. Junior Seau, All Pro, Hall of Fame linebacker from the San Diego Chargers, committed suicide. Yeah, a lot of players who just, a lot of mental episodes due to the constant hitting to the brain. Sometimes we forget that our body, it's all scientific, it's all connected. You think about like a computer. You have a computer and you have no virus protection. You're uploading all this crap that's dangerous. And after a while, your computer's going to die out. Your hard drive's going to crash because it can only take so much. If you don't provide constant care to your computer, if you don't make sure you have antivirus things to block the negative things out and push it away, your computer's going to stop working. Your body's the same way. Your brain is a CPU, just processing. Yeah, I guess the CPU, motherboard. I guess the heart. Not. You get what I'm saying. All right, here we go. In here we have We have 8 packs. Mr. Caleb Williams, #1 pick of the draft last year. All right, let's go. Open up. First pack. What do we have here? Boom. Now, these are sapphire ones, so these are very pretty. So, like this, see James Harrison with a nice blue foil. Very, very pretty. James Harrison, Billy Sims, Ron Jaworski, 9/25. I want to say this is orange or gold refractor. I'm colorblind, so I can't tell shade. So that's either gold or orange. 9/25. Ron Jaworski, who at one time was a commentator at ESPN. Here we go. All right. Let's see what we got over here. Next pack. Opening up, we have Antonio Freeman. Monday night game years ago, there was this play where the game's in overtime. I don't know if it was Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. I think it was Brett Favre. Throws a pass. He's on the floor. Somehow, tips it up, catches it, runs for a touchdown to win the game. Pretty amazing play. Darren Sproles, Dermontti Dawson, Ray Davis. All right. Here we go. So we got one. Here we go. Whoa. I'm opening this pack. All right. Anthony Richardson, Boomer Bust, George Teague, Stephen Davis, 26/50, another gold or orange, 26/50. All right, I'll put you over here. That's weird. So one was, oh no, that was 9/25. That was 26/50. Oh no, so actually that's a different color. Is this green? I don't know. I tell you, man, color blindness is real, mostly with men. Interesting. All right, here we go. Next up, we got Brad Johnson, who won the Super Bowl with the Bucks. Frank Gore. All right, we have Darius Robinson, rookie card from the Arizona Diamondbacks. So that's the signature card that we have. Boom. I said Diamondbacks, Arizona Cardinals. I'm in baseball mode, as you can see. Arizona Cardinals. All right, let me go ahead. So I don't do this in the video, and I should start doing it more because I do it after the fact. But I don't know if that's like a big no-no. I should already be putting it in the plastic as soon as I get it. So here we go. Hopefully I don't mess up the valley, but it's going in here. And then it's going in here. And voila. There you go. Nice and pretty. Nice and pretty. There you go. All right. Got the signature card. Put it here. All right. I believe that was the first 4 packs. We have 4 packs to go. So probably not going to have another signature card in here, but we may have some other refractors. Bryce Young. Steve Hutchinson, Danny White. There's Larry Bryce Young. I think he's actually going to have a good year this year, Bryce Young. All right, here we go. Next up. Con fuerza, bro, con fuerza. I'm actually one of those non-Spanish speaking Puerto Ricans that grew up in New York. And I know my basic Puerto Rican, my basic Spanish. I said I speak Puerto Rican. I just said that. Who can't speak Spanish? Sorry. And so I'm learning how to speak Spanish because I may one day be moving to Spain. So I'm trying to learn Spanish, and I'm actually taking classes now. So be practicing more and more. All right, who do we got here? Ronnie Hampton, Giants, Super Bowl 25. All right. We have another 25/50. Bill Bates, safety, Dallas Cowboys. Like back in the day, right? He's in that recent thing, right? Let me see. Yeah, I was gonna say 1983. I was like, that's an old player. Yeah, so with these cards, they have old players and recent players, as you can see from the Antonio Freeman card. Got 2 of those. So, yo tengo 2 más. Dan Marino, Dan the Man, Michael Dean Perry, Tony Hill, Cameron Kitchens. All right, and we're going for the final pack of the top 2024 Sapphire Chrome. And over here we have Archie Manning, the father of Peyton and the great Eli Manning. Ed McCaffrey, father of Christian McCaffrey. We got all the fathers here. Brian Westbrook, father of Russell Westbrook. I'm kidding, he's not the father of Russell Westbrook. And Mason Smith. Mason with 2 A's. Maason. Mason. All right. I hope you have a great week. Thank you for watching this week's episode. And again, if you're having some negative thoughts, if you're feeling very heavy, you feel like you need somebody to talk to, text or call 988 on your phone. Google the 1-800 number, call a suicide hotline, call a friend, call a family member. It's not worth it. All right. You guys have a good week, and we'll talk next week. Thanks for letting me open up.